Plaintiffs Thomas Cust and his girlfriend Kelsey Anderson rented an apartment to the defendants. Kelsey claims they terrorized their upstairs tenant so much that she broke her lease and moved out. They're suing for unpaid rent. Defendants Adrian Rayford and his wife Candace Bostic say while renting the plaintiff's apartment, the plaintiffs were rehabbing the unit downstairs, and they were constantly drunk and arguing. They're countersuing for emotional distress.
Start with you.
The defendants, Adrian and Candace, moved in May of 2017, and right from the get-go, there was problems, headaches, complaints. We had tenants move in upstairs in October, end of October, and they literally terrorized the woman to a point where she felt in such stress and such fear for her own life, she actually broke her lease and vacated the premises early and broke her lease.
She told you that's why?
We actually have a letter from her. We received text messages from her saying they had locked her out.
How did they lock her out?
Well, common
From
area.
the common front area. And actually also
Loud music.
blaring music. We actually have a video we can show you. This is the picture of the police out.
Doyle. And what other problems? This is October. You said they
Yep.
moved in May of 17.
Yes, parking in the tenants' parking spots, cigarette butts on the lawn, blocking the basement door, denying us access to the basement area.
Blocked it how?
They put a wooden board across the door, so we were not able to get in. We were able to unlock.
Why they did that?
We asked them on several occasions to remedy that.
Did they say why they did it?
Actually, yes, she did. I received a text message from her after I had spoke with her about it, and she had said she didn't feel safe in that neighborhood. I'm not going to apologize for locking the door. The point is, I'm tired of it. She thinks it's horrible here. I can just imagine if she had the minority living below her, just saying. That's a copy of this.
Wait, what? Minority living below? What are you talking about?
What's your text?
That's the text message. I can't. I'm just saying what she had
Wide
said.
open to anyone to just walk in. I'm not going to apologize for locking the door. The point is, I'm tired of it. She thinks it's horrible here.
This was the upstairs tenant because I had sent her a text message regarding the blaring
I can just
music.
imagine if she had the minority living below her. Just saying. If I lived below her, I promise you it wouldn't be a problem. Just saying, we keep to ourselves and have no other issues with anyone but her. She's the problem. So whatever sob story she gave you is nothing but a cry for attention. Maybe she's making up excuses to break her lease. I don't know. All I ask is to talk to us before you call and jump down our throats. Well, she's just denying what the tenant is saying. And, you know, that means she doesn't think they're doing anything wrong.
Right. We actually have a video because the tenant had texted us several times regarding blaring music, and she actually had to notify the authorities, and the authorities did issue him a citation. And that is also stated in the letter.
This was when?
In January.
You have a copy of that?
I do not have that, but I do have the pictures of the police officers outside the house.
You gave me that.
Picture.
All right.
Yes.
That's what you're referring to?
Yes.
Okay. That's not them. That's black people. And that's what she said. That was she said. I was going by what she said. That's what she said. Only minorities would do such a thing. Go ahead. Let me hear from you all.
We moved into their apartment on May 17th. They were remodeling the downstairs. Every day that they were there working, they were intoxicated. Always had a bottle
that is a blatant lie.
Okay.
No, it's not.
They argued and fought with each other.
Again, that is a total lie.
Quiet, ma'am. They didn't interrupt you. Go ahead.
They argued for 5 months back and forth, and we were living upstairs during all this. He's constantly yelling at his workers, screaming, slamming stuff.
The workers who were
his family, his brothers that were helping him.
Repairing the home or something, or repairing the apartment?
Remodeling the downstairs.
Okay.
We were upstairs, and
you all ever complained to her about this or him?
Not so much. I mean, there was times where they would stay the night. They'd be too intoxicated to drive home.
Sleeping in their car.
Find them in the car in the morning in the driveway.
Is that true? Did that happen?
That is a complete lie. They actually did complain to us about. They did actually complain to us about the noise because she was working the night shift at the time.
Why are they gonna say they found you in the driveway? They don't have to make that up.
That is a blatant lie.
Tom even came.
Hold on, that is a blatant lie, Your Honor. I was actually.
You said, hold on. He wants you to,
I was actually.
Sir, then you hear she said, "Shut up." Trying to talk. She run this. It's her program. She
I just wanted to.
Tom even came upstairs because he was intoxicated and not feeling the greatest, and I gave him something to eat and something to drink before he drove home.
All right. And
there's more to that.
Go ahead.
After the downstairs was remodeled, we moved downstairs. Now, the place was just freshly remodeled, and I found Coke bags in the bathroom, little green baggies with powder in them.
God, that's such a lie.
I asked him about it. I said, hey, I found these baggies in there. And he laughed and said, oh, it must have been from the last people that lived there. The whole place just got remodeled and redone,
cleaned out.
literally.
Such a lie.
So I don't know where these bags
Why
came
would we
from.
make that up?
It came from the contractor. Now go ahead. What else?
One day the door was locked.
Didn't you say your brother was working down there too? Whose relatives? Oh, his relatives.
Yes.
All right. Well, somebody's just a cokehead between the two families. I don't know who it is.
One day
you ever get you a blow every now and then?
What? No.
I'm just asking. A lot of times people don't know what their spouse or their family member is doing.
No.
I've had folks in here all the time don't know that the man was a crackhead when they got together. How long you all been together?
10 years.
10 years.
Oh, okay. You know by now. All right. So it wasn't hers. All right. We got that out the way.
And then, one day, he came over to the house beating on the door because the basement was locked. I mean, this guy's beating on the door like it's the police, like they're kicking the door in. I answered the door. I was in my underwear. I had just woken up. And I answered the door. And I was like, what's wrong, Tom? And he starts screaming, spit flying out of his mouth. I can smell the booze on him.
Trying to force his way
yelling
in.
at me about the basement being locked. So I closed the door because I'm not ready to deal with this. I'm just waking up. And he grabbed the door and trying to pry his way in there, yelling at me on the other side of the door. I hit the top lock and locked it, and he's hitting the door again. He told me I was going to be evicted for locking the basement door, and the bar was already there. I just was the one that put it up.
All right, they're suing for unpaid rent, $3,600. Let's hear about that.
Starting in October, Adrian had notified us that he was having back surgery and that there was going to possibly be issues with rent because he was going to be getting disability checks. We spoke with them about this, and we worked with them from October, November, December, January to kind of get squared up with what they were delinquent in. Come February, they paid partial rent. They owed $200 remaining in February. March, April, May, they did not pay. We did not receive any monies from February forward. And then at the beginning of May, we notified them that we were going to be showing the place. We did so again at the end of May. They sent us text messages. We were not allowed to show the place.
Showing it based on what? Hold on. Showing it based on what? They had agreed to move, or you all had evicted them? How can you show something where the lease
We had issued them a 5 days to pay or vacate. They acknowledged that they received the letter via text to Tom. They acknowledged that on May 10th. They did not pay. They did not vacate.
Did they tell you they intended to vacate?
They did not. He actually on May 13th said, I have most of the cash for you. I'm hoping to have all the monies by the end of the month. He did not.
You can't adjust their tenancy unless the court tells you you can by way of eviction.
Right, and we did.
When did you start showing the house?
We did not start showing it because they would not allow us to via text.
And was that before you went to court? They wouldn't allow you to?
Yes, but per their lease agreement, Your Honor, it does actually say that we do have the right to show the place as long as we give them adequate notice. We notified them, and then we started getting text messages when we were reminding them about the showing that we were not allowed in. There were no trespassing signs.
Let's see the lease that says that. Did you all know the lease allows, even prior to you all moving, that they can come in at will?
No.
Your Honor, it's not at will. We give notification, and the reason that...
Did you give them the day and time?
Well, the reason being is yes.
We told them on Saturday.
So that we don't have to go a month without having the place rented.
You gave them a day and time.
And then they don't show up.
That is absolutely not true, Your Honor.
And I agreed to be out of the house by the 1st
Yes.
of June.
And when did you get evicted?
We never got evicted.
You never got a judgment of eviction?
No.
No, they send it to the last address.
She says they never gotten a judgment for eviction.
On June 12th, we went to court in Racine, Wisconsin, and since they had vacated the premise, the judge did not have to order the writ of eviction since they had already vacated the premise
Okay, so
on June 1st.
Okay, so that means you don't get any money.
What's that?
That means you don't get any money. The judge said since they had left, there was no reason to hear the case anymore.
But they still owed the money, and that's why we were proceeding.
That's why I
with the
need to see the
eviction.
judgment, because the judge may not have said that.
Your
What do
Honor,
you have now? I didn't ask you
we don't have
anything.
money.
There
for
is-
you.
This is proof that he says.
Tell
that
me
he
what
owes-
it is before you. I boss him around.
I'm sorry.
What is it?
This is the text message that we received on Sunday, May 13th from Adrian saying, I'm trying to have all the money for you and I'm waiting on another
Okay,
check and
let's
should have
see.
it all. So he's admitting that he owes the money
If
in
it
rent.
says that, sir.
I don't know anything, sir. We had a verbal agreement, Tom and I, about taking care of the property,
Absolutely a
doing the
lie.
tree work on it.
Absolutely a
And
lie.
I'd be able to stay until I got
I'm
back.
trying to have all the cash for you, and I have most of it. I'm waiting on another check, and I should have it all.
I was receiving the benefit checks, and something I fell off auto pay with the insurance company, so I didn't get them for about 3 months. And I told him about all that, and I was waiting for the checks. And he walked the property with me. He said, "You do all this tree work, you maintain the property, you can stay here until you get back to work, and then you will continue."
Your response was, "I'm trying to have all the cash."
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So you turned that deal down because you told him you were
Yeah.
trying to have all the cash.
Yeah.
Your counterclaim $3,600. What did they do to you all?
Distress. Just having
Tell me what they did.
Emotional
Late
distress,
trust.
him
Yeah.
trying to come in my house, and he knows I got rights. He can't come in my house just.
And what happened when he came in?
Oh, he tried. I got the door locked.
Okay, well, if he
but-
tried and he didn't make it, you didn't suffer any emotional distress. All right, I'll grant you the judgment based on his text saying that he'll pay. Your claim is dismissed, no emotional distress. Judgment for the plaintiff, your claim dismissed.
Thank you.
Good day. I think the judgment is fair, and I'm just happy we get to move forward.
I'm happy that they're out.
We're happy to be
I'm
gone.
happy to
never
be
deal
gone
with
and
this.
not deal with someone like you. So.